Hey loves, my name is Winnie Jean. Welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to show you guys how I kept it together and did not lose my mind during quarantine. So if you need some help, keep watching.
You want a supermodel pose like my real friend Wynne?
First things first is rest. When I tell you at first, I think it's because I wasn't really doing much. I was literally restless. I would stay up all night, sleep random times of the day, and that just was not gonna work for me. So Sutera sent me their new Dream Deep pillow and I fell in love, okay? It's made out of an adaptive memory foam like material, so it kind of comes folded up, which was kind of cool to me because once you take it like apart, it just like fluffs up, and they have these really cool contours in it because I'm a side sleeper and I need something that'll like give me like just enough lift to where like my arm is not falling asleep. And it has a machine washable cover, and I just love that because I've been able to keep everything really clean, and I've been working a lot on my skin, so that's super important. And overall, I was just able to get so much better rest. It got to the point where literally I would take this pillow with me on vacation. You guys know I travel a lot and sleep just is not the same without my Dream Deep pillow. So definitely click the link down below in the description bar and check that pillow out. Literally, I have been obsessed with this pillow for months, like months. It's amazing and it never really loses its shape. Now my next tip is to stay ready so you ain't gotta get ready. I don't know about you, but quarantine gave me some extreme anxiety, and I found that it really just made me feel a lot more comfortable to know that I was prepared. So I got a bunch of herbs. I naturally keep quite a few, but I got even more, and I just wanted to make sure that if anything did happen or if I did get sick or become under the weather, I will be able to take care of myself at home. That meant a lot to me. I also started to incorporate sea moss into my diet. I love the Jamaican sea moss. They also have Irish sea moss, which is more of like a tan color, but it has a lot of minerals and nutrients in it. And I really, really love it as opposed to taking vitamins, just because I feel like I'm trying to learn to eat my nutrients. And I also stocked up on all of my necessities. I got lots of quinoa, lentils, beans, rice, and just stocked up, okay? And if you're anything like me, you'll find that just knowing that you're prepared for anything makes you less anxious about what's to come because you already know you'll be fine. Now this next tip, I don't know if you need to hear this, but you probably do. Get a hobby. Find you some business, as my mom would say. I really love art, so I got into painting and just finding different activities I can do at home. And then I fell into the rabbit hole, which is urban agriculture. I know. It sounds lame, but hear me out. Back to the staying ready so you ain't gotta get ready thing. While everybody else was buying canned goods, your girl, who was crazy, was buying seeds. I thought the world was in it, so I had to make sure that I had everything I needed to not only eat for the next few months, but baby, I need to eat for a while.
Everybody eats, B.
So I got a bunch of seeds and I started a bunch of plants from seed. I started some cabbages, some kale, different herbs, different vegetables. I was dibbling and dabbling. I also bought some pre-started plants. I brought a lemon balm plant and a few other herbs like mint and rosemary, I believe, that I use a lot in my cooking just so I could have some spices and stuff. And everything was flourishing. It was the most fun thing ever. I learned so much about my food. And of course, I know it sounds cheesy, but taking care of my garden and learning about different plants really taught me a lot about life. You learn a lot about patience. I messed up a bunch of times and I just kept going. As you can see here, my little bitty tomato plant that I started with was huge. And I was getting a bit discouraged because at first it didn't have any fruit on it. So I was like, am I doing something wrong? Whatever the case may be. But I kind of just kept taking care of it. And eventually I had all of these cute little tomatoes on it. But they were gorgeous. And my garden just kept growing and growing and growing because I would just take the little plants that I grew from seed and put them in a bigger pot when they got big enough. Having something to take my mind off of things and to really just focus on and to take care of, it kind of became my little escape. Literally, I used to just be in and out of my house. My house was just somewhere to put my things. But I guess with quarantine, I had to just sit. And I didn't really have anywhere peaceful at home. If I ever needed peace, I would go to a park or I would do different things. And at first, that wasn't an option. So I put a couple chairs out there, a cute little rug, and all of my plants, and it literally felt like a vacation every time I went on my balcony. So if you don't have a lot of space, you don't have a backyard, even if you don't have a balcony, you can get some lights and just have something that you can like care for and love. I definitely suggest everyone should have a garden, even if it's small, even if it's just a few little plants. Having my own little personal garden changed my life. And as you can see, I'm getting lots of produce. I grew so many peppers that I had to like cook with them, freeze them, and make hot sauce. So on my journey of growing the vegetables, I learned about so many other things. I learned about soil nutrients. I learned about different ways that you can grow plants, like whether you want to grow them in water or if you want to grow them in soil. I learned a lot about storing my food because of course I didn't want my precious produce, to go to waste. So I had to learn about like food storage. I messed up a lot. As you can see here, these peppers, I don't know what happened to them, but they just weren't growing right. So I had to look it up. And I believe I was going too long in between watering them. So I ended up fixing that and I grew these gorgeous peppers. And at the end of the season, all I had really left was peppers, greens, and herbs. So this is when I started to make my hot sauces and just figure out things to do with them before it started to get too cold outside. And just reflecting on my gardening season, like I grew bags of produce. I grew heirloom tomatoes and cherry tomatoes, cabbage, kale that I could put in my smoothies. I had rosemary, lots of basil, like the basil and the mint went crazy. And as you can see here, I grew a bit of Thai basil as well, just for like, a little flair. But towards the end of the season, everything started to flower. And that just means that like, the jig is up. Everything is kind of like ready to die and it's putting all of its energy into growing these seeds for next season. So what I did was I collected them. I picked all of the little seeds off, as many as I could, and I put them in a bag so that I would have them for the next season, so then I wouldn't have to buy any more seeds. So my garden was literally just the gift that kept on giving, and it gave me so much peace. And I hope that you guys really enjoyed this video and took something with you that you could use to, relax during your quarantine. I know some places are more locked down than others, but if you have a balcony or a little square in your apartment near a window, definitely take the time to just care for something, because you cannot just be sitting around watching TV. That is not good for anyone. And most importantly, rest. Make sure that you get your rest. Don't push it too far. It's okay to have some downtime and to really allow yourself to just think. Being bored is the best catalyst for creativity. So give yourself some downtime, and don't forget to check out the Dream Deep Pillow by Sutera. It is a lifesaver, and I'll have a 20% off discount code down below in the description bar. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.